Welcome in, everybody. I'm Devin O'Day. So glad that you would join me on our Main Street Today show, and I love it. It's our cuppa time. So grab you a cup of something for your coffee break, and we're going to take a city tour. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about what is happening. Music City Irish Fest. It kicks off this week on the Opry Mall. The Opry Mall and on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. And Brenda Willis, who is in charge of the whole ding dang dong deal, is going to be joining us. She was a guest on our Taste of Nashville show live from the Omni. John Dwyer and I interviewed her, and here is what we talked. City Irish Fest time. Okay, that's not their jingle.
Keep your day job there, Dad.
Brenda Willis, who will be my compadre on a trip to Ireland. We're taking a group April 15th. We'll be leaving Music City, but we're bringing Ireland here.
Yes, we are.
The week, Music City Irish Fest. You've done it for a while now, but you've kind of taken it to a whole new level this year.
Well, you know why? Because I was sick of flooding and snow and tornadoes and all of the natural disasters that were happening over all those years. And then, of course, off 3 years for COVID, but we're back. We're back in a big way.
Are back.
Yes.
And you're going to be at the Opry Plaza, right?
Yes, we are going to be. So, free festival on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, and on the 18th, from noon until about 10 p.m.-ish. But don't not get your tickets for the Opry, because we have wonderful Irish artists that are going to be collaborating as guests on the Opry. So we have Jig Jam, which is a bluegrass band out of Ireland, and we have Eileen Ivers, who's she's called the Jimi Hendrix of the violin. She's just a rocker on the violin. She was in Riverdance. Yeah. So you may have seen her when you saw Riverdance. We have Rory Makeham, whose father was Tommy Makeham, the legendary Tommy Makeham and the Clancy Brothers, who sang all the traditional songs. We have Shane Hennessy, who you know.
I love Shane Hennessy more than Lunch and Jewelry. So amazing.
Brilliant guitar player. Like, think Chet Atkins meets Tommy Emmanuel type of thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because it's really that combo together.
And then we also have the lovely Claire Cunningham, who we're going to meet today on the show.
who just grew up in Ireland.
Yes,
in Ireland.
She's from Ireland and had a dream
here.
of coming to Nashville to write songs and be a musician, and she's here.
So what's your? How'd you start this? What's your background in doing all this?
It's kind of a funny story. My husband was a wrestler, and
it's funny already.
Well, we were no, not like that kind of wrestling. Like the real, the real like Olympic stuff. And we were having children, and we thought we'd have our boys wrestle, and then we had some girls at the beginning, and we saw Riverdance shortly after. Jess was 5, my oldest was 5 or 6 at the time, and we saw Riverdance. We came out and we're like, I don't know what that was, but yes, that was just awesome. And so I got out that old thing called a phone book, if you remember those.
Yeah.
And I opened it and I looked for the Irish dancing schools, and I found one, and they started taking Irish dance. And 2 weeks after their first class, we went to our first ever Irish music festival in Grant Park. It's called the Chicago Celtic Fest back in the day. And I saw this phenomenon, this culture, this whole world that existed that I didn't even know about. And so they started in Irish dancing, and then we bought a little $7 penny whistle, and then they started playing, and then we got a fiddle, and then this whole thing just started snowballing to the point that we became an Irish family band and started touring, and then won the world championships, and this crazy stuff started happening. Somehow.
It's because immense talent in this family. Okay. Now, first of all, we need to bottle whatever this is, because how many children do you have?
I have 12 children.
12 children. Okay.
It's my party piece.
This is a miracle. Unbelievable. And they're all so amazingly
But think
talented.
about this for a second. If you ask any Irish Catholic family, going back a generation, ask them how many kids they have. I'm the lazy one.
Yeah.
I got you.
Way to mail it in.
12 is a smaller family to them. So it's just this, I don't know. I'm just a generation late, that's all.
There you go. Well, you know what? I love what you bring to the Music City Irish Fest every year. And are we going to get to see Jessica Willis Fisher perform this year?
I hope so. The Opry doesn't really book their artists super far out, so they're still in the process of booking some artists, but we have some really cool things happening. So one of our Irish guests, Eileen Ivers, is going to do a collaboration with Ricky Skaggs on St. Patrick's Day.
Nothing but a name
They're going to set
drop.
that building on fire, I think.
This is fantastic.
And then the Irish band coming from Tullamore and Tipperary, that is the Bluegrass Band. Go figure that one out. They are going to get to collaborate with the legendary Del McCurry.
Oh, wow. That's going to be like an explosion.
I know. And so we're super excited. And then there's some other things still coming up, and we're still working some of those details out. But
Opry.com to get those tickets.
Yes.
And there's tons of free music and food and experience on the Opry Plaza. So the 17th and 18th. We got to give a nod to the sponsors, because you always bring a whole plethora of those. And without the sponsors, that wouldn't happen. Who are some of the people bringing us this?
I feel like the big thing is a lot of places around the United States celebrate St. Patrick's Day in a very inauthentic way. Unauthentic, what's the correct grammar there? I don't know.
We'll go with that.
But it is get drunk and wear green. And that's not what Ireland is about. I mean, we were just talking about the drinks. It's about the fellowship. It's about the face-to-face human interaction. They're a very face-to-face culture. And so we bring in authentic food and drink and music and dancing and all these wonderful things. And so that's what my sponsors really like. And that's why they're excited. So Ireland.com, Tourism Ireland, is one of our biggest sponsors. And anything that you want to find out about traveling to Ireland and what to do when you get there and how to get there and all the best places to see is at Ireland.com. So they're one of our biggest sponsors. Of course, Guinness came in and gave us a nice bit too, because you got to drink the real stuff, not the green beer, but the real stuff, so that's very exciting. We are also doing something else for our community that we feel is very important. So we are actually doing a blood drive at the festival. Now, please, I'm just going to ask you, please donate blood before you start drinking.
There's an order to this.
And you might even want to
that's
just...
the right one.
The drunken blood is not what we're looking for.
You might just want to even maybe hold off drinking like till the next day or something, if you're going to donate blood. But no, so Blood Assurance is our community partner, and they supply over 20 hospitals in the Nashville area, sole supplier of their blood and blood products. And so we're going to do a blood drive there promoting Blood Assurance. So we want everybody to know that.
That's so good.
And we also had Gray Line come in, and they are our transportation partner. So you see the wonderful Gray Line tours and buses around town. So you want to give them a try. And then our wonderful host hotel is the Hutton. And they have come in and just been wonderful partners.
This is a family-friendly event, yes?
Very family friendly. As a matter of fact, we have a kids area, and that is sponsored by the Tennessee Renaissance Festival, which is so exciting. And everybody's thinking, now, how does that fit? Well, they, of course, all the weekends in May, they have it down in Triune, and then they always have an Irish weekend. And I was like, this is a perfect fit. So they're going to have bouncy castles out there for the kids, and this one's really funny. So, you know the old-fashioned kissing booth, which is like, it's politically...
familiar. Back in the day.
Well, it's like politically incorrect, but it's like medically incorrect, right? Now. So I thought it would really be fun to have a twist on that and have a kissing booth kiss the Blarney Stone booth. So I went to the Nashville Children's Theater, and they are building us a wall of Blarney Castle so you can get your picture. Now, we don't have to kiss it. That would still, again, be probably not the best thing. But we're going to have a place where you can, be up near the Blarney Stone and the wall. Do you know what the Blarney Stone is?
Yes.
Do you know what it
It's a
is?
stone that's named Blarney.
It is not.
Old Blarney. And
It is
He
not.
doesn't have a clue. No clue.
To get to the Blarney Stone, you actually have to climb up 2 or 3 or 4 stories in an old castle, beautiful old castle. And you get all the way up to the battlements on the top. And then you sit down and you bend over backwards over the place where they used to pour the boiling oil, down on the enemies. And you kiss the wall on the far side of that. That's the Blarney Stone.
Are you going to do that on your trip? Do you think?
No, I am not, because I have heard all sorts of things they do
About what happened.
to the Blarney Stone. The natives, I'm not even going to say what they do to that Blarney Stone, but I'm not going to kiss it. My lips not going to touch the Blarney Stone.
But do you know what you get? What do you get?
Backache? I don't know.
No.
The gift of Blarney.
The gift of Blarney.
Which is?
Well, you already have it.
I'm done.
He doesn't need to kiss anything. He's already got the gift of Blarney. I'm just going to
I
say.
play dumb well, don't I? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So that's what we have going on. We'll have the dogs, the Irish wolfhounds. We'll have the dogs that you can meet and pet. I know, it's going to be fun.
Music City Irish Fest. Is there a website where people can get information?
MusicCityIrishFest.com. How about that?
See, I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you for bringing some amazing guests to our show today, because really one call to this woman, Brenda Willis, knows if it has to do with Ireland and Irish anything, she knows what's going on. I keep forgetting I have this on my head. I go, what is that?
I think we should get him in a kilt. What do you think?
I'm not shaving my legs.
You don't have to shave your legs. No.
Things.
We're going to have a wonderful kilt
What are you
there.
going to do with me? What are you
Not going to shave your legs.
Okay.
Not going to shave.
All right. But no, you are all things Irish. What a great weekend, and we're going to be hoping for great weather. And
Yes,
it's
me
just going to be amazing.
And then if it rains, it'll just be more Irish.
More Irish. You won't melt. Promise you won't melt. Hey, we have got music coming up, and we're going to also meet Missy Acosta from Delta Dental, who's getting a very special award. The show's not over yet. This is Taste of Nashville, so stay with us.
With this project we did here at Mundy Park, we addressed drainage ditch erosion. We shored it up in steep areas using the rock as if you come out here with an aesthetic touch. And like we said, we got a pond here. It's going to be full of green grass. We got tennis courts now, pickleball courts. We've repaved the asphalt trail with this project. So Mundy Park's gotten a facelift, and this project particularly is the model of what we want to do with the stormwater utility. This is a game changer for our city.
Hello, Franklin. I'm Eric Stuckey, your city administrator, and it's time for the top 3 things you need to know this week. We are out here at Bicentennial Park on a beautiful day, and I have with me Teresa Anderson, who is a long-range principal planner with our Planning and Sustainability Department. And so we want to know 3 things about what's going on in planning, but specifically our Envision Franklin land use plan. So tell us what's up.
All right, so number 1, our Envision Franklin land use plan is being updated. It's our 5-year update, and so we just want to check in with how Franklin is today and anything that needs to be updated. Number 2, we have our upcoming meeting on March 22nd at Columbia State Community College. There'll be an option at 11 a.m. and an option at 5:30 p.m. to participate. And then number 3, if you already participated in our factory district meeting, thank you so much, and you'll hear about it at our joint conceptual workshop on March 23rd with our BOMA and FMPC.
And so that's that evening around 5 o'clock in the evening.
Right.
On that time. So, all right, plug in, be part of the process, and have your voice heard as we update the Envision Franklin land use plan. That's it for now. Take care and have a great week.
Movement and exercise may be the last 2 things you want to think of when dealing with either back pain or if, say, you have scoliosis or another disability, but movement can be extremely helpful. I am delighted to introduce our next guest to dive in a little deeper into this topic. She is the founder of Spiral Spine Resources and Pilates Studio in Brentwood, Tennessee. We have Erin Myers with us. Erin, first off, thank you so much for your time. Erin enjoyed a career as a professional dancer. She was with the Radio City Rockettes and has trained in Pilates at the Kane School of Core Integration, but her knowledge, her certifications go far beyond that. She also has a personal experience to share. So Erin, thank you so much for this time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
You are very welcome. So first off, tell us a little bit about your business and what you offer there in Brentwood.
Yep. I have a Pilates studio. It's called Spiral Spine Pilates, and we're in Brentwood, kind of near the Galleria Mall. Okay. And it's a 2,300 square foot studio. I'm actually in the studio right now. I can kind of give you a glimpse of
very nice
the huge studio that we have here. And we do tons of privates. And I've got a staff of 12 that helps me hold down our large clientele base that we have here. We work with kids all the way to people in their 80s living with scoliosis, and then people who just want to work out and they want to they want to have a fabulous Pilates studio. It's a really boutique studio. So we have a lot of high-end clients, a lot of athletes, and a lot of people who are just normal people that want a private experience. We do some small group classes as well on equipment. And then we have Pilates teacher training, and we have workshops specifically for scoliosis as well.
So much. Well, they kind of share with us then why movement is important. Why, if you're dealing with back pain, for those of us who have back pain, whether lower, middle, upper, or someone with scoliosis, why they need to move and maybe start exercising.
Movement is medicine. It just is. Our bodies are made to move. Our bodies are made to heal. And a lot of times when we have some kind of a pathology, whether it's diagnosed or undiagnosed, we have a lot of fear and we stop moving. And that's one of the worst things that you can possibly do. And that a lot of times people get injured when they have a diagnosis and they move with someone that doesn't know what to do with their body and with their backs. And so because they get further in pain and they get more injury, they absolutely stop moving. So a lot of times people have to find a lot of courage in order to come through the studio for the first time. And then they get a little, healing balm when they're here and they're like, I didn't know that I could move without pain. I had an 81-year-old client who came to the studio for the first time 2 weeks ago, and because she wanted to start working on her back pain. I was like, you're my favorite client. Oh my gosh. I know. I was like, it's never too late. And she had a lot of fear because she had worked with a lot of other people and they had all left her in pain. And she was about to walk out and she turned around and she said, I'm not in pain. And it's great. That's what the goal is that people can learn to move without pain, no matter what their diagnosis is.
I know that must be like music to your ears when someone, especially her age, who has gone through all that, says something like that to you. For those watching this, you have a personal experience and story because you yourself were diagnosed with scoliosis when you were young.
Yep. I was diagnosed with scoliosis at age 14 with a 17-degree upper curve. So it was just a minor upper curve diagnosed. And then the doctor said, I'll never need to see you again. So I went about my life, never thinking I needed to do anything about it. Went on to dance with the Radio City Rockettes. Got very injured with my knees, dancing with the Rockettes. And that led me into the realm of Pilates. And when I moved to Nashville from New York City, I opened up my first Pilates studio. And somehow, I don't even remember, word just started to spread that I had scoliosis. And I danced with the Radio City Rockettes. So, of course, I would be able to work with anyone with scoliosis, which wasn't the case at that time. But I had a child brought to me by her parents who had scoliosis. And she said, will you give it a try? Will you work with my daughter? And I said, yeah, I'd be happy to. Let's give it a try. And so within the first 6 months of me working with her, I was able to decrease her curvature to keep her out of a brace and keep her out of surgery. And so that has been the beginning. That was the beginning of my story of working with people with scoliosis. And then fast forward a few more years, I gave birth to my first son, gave birth to my second son, sold my first studio, and I wrote my first book on scoliosis. And I was like, you know what? I should really just get an x-ray and show people what my spine looks like. And at this point, I had an x-ray and my curve had increased to 35 degrees in my upper curve. And I had now developed a lumbar curve in the other direction, and it was at 25 degrees. And the doctor had told me it was never going to increase. That's why he never needed to see me again. So I had to put into practice all the research that I had read and everything that I was doing on all these other people. So a few years go by and I was able to decrease my upper curve to the upper teens and my low curve less than 10. And it's daily work, but the spine moves. And so I have to take my own medicine that we give all of the clients here with movement. And it's good. And so, I've been at this for almost 2 decades now, specializing in scoliosis for maybe a decade and a half. And I've had produced 4 books and an app and multiple studios. And so my latest book, I Have Scoliosis, Now What, is pretty much this just massive tome of research and pictures and exercises on just meeting people where they're at in their journey. Because a lot of people, they start and the number one thing they say is, I have scoliosis. Now what? They just don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. They're not getting the guidance that they need. And so that's the journey. And that's what we're here to meet people.
So, with you, you have your website. We can follow you on Instagram. When people say they don't know where to go, what would you suggest to them? How do they start researching where to go? Again, obviously, you are a wealth of information and a resource for others. But for those who may not be in this area, what do you suggest to them?
Yeah, so my clients or my staff and I, we work virtually with people all over the world on a weekly basis. So so we do privates and we do groups virtually with people. And I would suggest start there. My desire is that people with scoliosis, they can find practitioners in their hometown to care for them. That being said, sometimes that's not available. And so for those people, virtual work is great. And sometimes we're able to train people in the towns where they live and so they can get one-on-one care virtually. And we have actually, this last weekend, we had a big retreat at the studio called the Scoliosis Retreat, where people came in from all over the country to learn how to care for their backs so then they can go home and continue to care for them there.
A lot of people deal with lower back pain, so kind of getting away from scoliosis, those who have lower back pain, any back pain at all, what's the first thing they need to do?
Yep. So if you look at the back, we have 5 little vertebrae that are holding up the entire upper torso. A lot of people, when they're, my back's not strong, or my back this and my back that, if it's undiagnosed low back pain and there isn't necessarily a pathology with it, we need to look to the front of the body, and that's the core. That's the abdomen. The abdomen, in essence, kind of takes place of the rib cage, which is higher. In the thoracic spine and the rib cage and the upper mid back, we have kind of this bony circle to kind of help hold it up. In the low back, a lot of back pain takes place because there isn't that bony circle to help hold it up. And the abdominal muscles take place of that bony circle. And if we, are no longer 12 years old and are running around a track and doing volleyball and jumping on a trampoline and playing with our friends and playing gaga ball and all these other things, and we're sitting at a desk for all these hours a day, it's just not getting activated. And so wise Pilates movement is a great place to start.
Okay. Movement is key. And from all the things that I've seen on your Instagram, because I have now looked at pretty much every video, you talk a lot about mobilization.
Yeah, you've got to move. So a healthy back there's going to be this balance between mobility and stability. And there has to be this even balance between them. We can be locked up, no mobility, and be in pain. We can and be strong even. And then we can have a ton of strength, or we can have too much mobility, like a damper, strength, but or very mobile, but not enough strength. Or we can be locked up and not enough mobility. And the goal is we need to find an even balance between that. We need to find mobility and stability. And kind of the ultimate goal is that we would be able to control our mobility or control our stability. Mobile, stable, strong, flexible bodies.
I feel like we could make an entire 30-minute mornings on Main Street and sit and talk with you the entire time and just get all the information that you are able to give us. Thank you, Erin, so very much. Anything that I haven't asked you that you feel like people who are dealing with this need to hear?
When you're in pain, whether it's from scoliosis or from any other back pathology, the number one thing that you need to do is find courage to step out and go and try another practitioner. Because
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Thank you so much to Stefanie Miller, Mornings on Main Street. It comes on right before we start our show, and she had a wonderful interview with Spiral Spine with Erin Myers in Brentwood, Tennessee, and looking for a new practitioner. If you're not getting the results you need, you can check that out. Thank you to the Nashville Zoo, DinoTrek at a full-time, full swing, and it's going right now, and the weather is getting better. And it's your springtime, it's going to be enjoyable to see all those big animatronic dinosaurs put into action. Little boys and little girls just love the trip to the Nashville Zoo to see DinoTrek. If you are a fan of wild birds, our friends over at Wild Birds Unlimited always have great products for you, and we love what they bring to you. But right now, we're celebrating our other friends at 50 Forward. All sorts of activities for people like me who are 50 and over. There are circles of 50 Forwards all over Middle Tennessee. It's amazing. It's amazing. They dance, they party, they eat together, they trip together. They do all sorts of wonderful things. And right now they are part of the National Institute of Health's Join All of Us campaign, a new health research study. And they want you. They want you to be counted. joinallofus.org/50forward, bringing you the daily giggle for all those wild bird enthusiast. This one's going to make you laugh. And I want to dedicate this to my little sister, who's always trying to feed her little birds outside and to get them to come just a little bit closer. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I sure would try. I've held up my hands before and had the little chickadees come down and take a peanut. You know what? If you feed the wild animals, even if you don't have pets, you can really enjoy it. Well, speaking of pets, Pup Fest is coming up. It is part of Nashville Pet Products. They're all of their Nashville Pet Product locations on April 6th. You can save the date. It's an all-day adoption fair, and all-day food and supplies are on sale. Pet adoptions at all 5 stores. Don't shop, adopt. But you can shop that day because the deals are incredible. And April 27th, the night out, a new leash on life. It's going to be at City Winery. It's going to be fantastic. New Leash on Life is in Lebanon, Tennessee. And they're also having a Snip Snip Hooray neuter party. Neuterpalooza takes place this week. You can go to New Leash on Life and see if there are any availabilities left. Do not forget that Shane Hennessy is making his Opry debut on March the 16th. Opry.com to get your tickets. You do not want to miss that. And do not forget that Backstage Nashville will be celebrating with Tony. Oh, you guys, Tony Arata, Tony the Dance Arata, and Jason Matthews is there, and Ray Stevenson is there, the Godfather of Backstage Nashville, and Casey Tyndall, who I just love and adore, and also Lisa Richard will be there from Canada. And let's see who else is going to be out this week. March 15th. Oh my goodness. We've already missed that one. Is it Third and Lindsley, Cole Ritter, and the Night Owls there? So if you get a chance to see Cole Ritter and the Night Owls, I saw them at Mott Haven Cultural Arts Center. Oh, they're so, so, so good. Well, thank you guys for being there. And thank you for following and subscribing and sharing. Be safe, be kind, and remember, most of all, you are loved.
We are home. We are family. We are things to do and places to see. Mom and pops, local grown, small business Saturdays. We are Main Street, Main Street, Main Street. We are your Main Street today.